You start the day at the service of everything, Derek plus Mac, except yourself. You open your eyes and you're already running after messages, after urgencies, after what others expect, without intention, without direction, without pause. And when night comes, you feel the same as always. You did 1,000 things, but didn't take a single step toward yourself. Mac Ters class be later, and you end the day exhausted. Sound familiar? It's more common than it seems. Many start the day on autopilot. They go through the days like it's a race imposed on them, and strategies imposed, without realizing that how your morning begins shapes everything that comes after. In this video, I want to reveal 810 Stoic habits you can implement every morning to regain control over your mind. 7 simple but powerful practices that will help you start the day with calm, clarity, and inner strength. And if you commit to them, you'll see the change. And stop in a second, because this isn't momentary motivation. This is daily training, and it starts today. But before we continue, I want to invite you to take the first step. To do a one more others, everyone, anywhere is just generating. Scroll to the comments and write, "From today on, I choose to strengthen my mind every morning." Because of they means that step today is listen today. It's not just a nice phrase, it's a decision. A commitment to yourself, a firm declaration, Derek plus Mac, and some tension where always start your day in service to rush or to others, but to yourself. Now you're ready. Let's begin. We begin with the first habit, learning to protect your energy by choosing what truly matters. Every morning your mind wakes up with a limited battery. Even if you don't notice it, from the first thought, you're already starting to drain it. And the question is, what are you going to invest it in? Many people lose more mental energy in 1 hour of worry than in 8 hours of real work. They wake up already thinking about everything that could go wrong, about what someone said yesterday, about what they haven't achieved yet, about what's missing, about what they don't have. And just like that, without doing anything, they're already exhausted. But the Stoics had another way to begin the day, remembering what's essential, separating what deserves their attention from what doesn't. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. Upon waking, he would filter his thoughts, as if he were cleaning the lens through which he'd view life. He did it to avoid getting contaminated by other people's judgments, by trivialities, by unnecessary drama. You can do the same today. Before letting anxiety take control, pause and ask yourself, what really deserves my energy today? Does this problem deserve to occupy my mind this early? Does this pending conversation deserve to ruin my whole morning? Imagine you're about to pour clean water into a glass, but the glass is dirty. No matter how clean the water is, if you don't clean the glass, you'll be drinking filth. Your mind is the same, and your morning thoughts are the first sip. Start by clearing out what's useless. Let go of the resentment you carried from yesterday, the comment someone made, the criticism still echoing. Not every thought deserves to stay. Not every issue deserves your energy. This isn't about ignoring problems. It's about recognizing that not everything is equally important. Some things resolve with distance, others with silence, and many simply with the passage of time. Today you can choose to focus on what actually adds value, what helps you move forward, what connects you with yourself, what gives you strength. And when you choose what's essential, you stop fighting with the irrelevant. You don't need to solve everything. You just need to decide where your attention is going. And even though that might seem small, it completely changes your day. Start there, by clearing ideas, burdens, and noise, as if you were tidying up your mental space, as if you were sweeping the floor before starting to walk, because you'll walk either way, but with more steadiness. Now let's move to the second habit, defining your identity before the world defines it for you. Most people wake up and simply react on autopilot. They turn off the alarm, grab their phone, read news, messages, notifications, and they're already swept away. Swept into a chaotic, unpredictable current that doesn't belong to them. Without realizing it, they hand over the steering wheel of their mind to circumstances. And from that moment on, the outside rules. But the Stoics understood this clearly. If you don't decide who you're going to be today, someone else will decide for you. That's why the first Stoic habit each morning is an internal decision. Define your attitude, your energy, your focus. One, before the world imposes them on you. It's not about promising yourself that everything will go well. It's about choosing how you're going to respond, even if everything goes wrong. Marcus Aurelius did it every morning. He reminded himself that he would encounter irritable, unjust, ungrateful people. And, even so, he reaffirmed his purpose not to let himself be contaminated. That's an identity decision. Today I will be patient, even if I'm provoked. Today I will be clear, even if everything is confusing. Today I will act with integrity, even if no one is watching. And yes, this is something you can do in 1 minute. You can stay in bed a moment, close your eyes and ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? And say it with strength. Today I choose to act with calm. Today I choose not to be carried away by my impulses. Today I choose to respond, not react. Do it before looking at your phone, before rushing out, before turning on external noise. Because if you don't, others will decide for you. And others don't always want what's best for you. They might pressure you, distract you, compare you. They might make you run after urgencies that aren't yours, or make you believe that your worth depends on what you achieve in the next 8 hours. And if you're not anchored to your own internal decision, you'll end up surrendering your entire day to what others choose. But when you decide early who you're going to be, when you affirm it clearly, everything else aligns. Not because the day is easy, but because you're stronger. And that decision, repeated each day, starts to shape you. It begins to build a real Stoic identity, not a theoretical one, an identity built in silence, without noise, without needing to prove anything to anyone. An identity that needs no approval, no perfection, no applause. Only conviction. A conviction you choose to renew every morning, because each new dawn is an opportunity, a blank page. And if you don't write who you're going to be, the world will do it for you. But when you take that invisible pen in the first minute of the day and firmly decide how you're going to live it, then even in the middle of chaos, you remain yourself. Here comes the third habit, mentally preparing for difficulty so nothing takes you by surprise. Most people start the day expecting everything to go well. And when something goes wrong, an unexpected call, a setback, a rude attitude, they fall apart, as if it weren't expected, as if it weren't part of life. But the Stoics did the opposite, not because they were pessimists, but because they were realists, and most of all, because they wanted to be prepared. Each morning, Marcus Aurelius told himself he would cross paths with difficult people, that there would be obstacles that he would face, ingratitude, selfishness, harshness, not to get bitter, but to avoid the trap of surprise. And that changes everything. Because what destroys you isn't the hardship, it's the lack of emotional preparation to face it. Think about it. When you expect everything to be easy, any small thing throws you off. A poorly phrased sentence changes your mood. A change in plans destabilizes you. An indifferent gesture from someone close leaves you silent the whole day. But if you wake up knowing there will be challenges and still decide to face them with serenity, then you're already winning. It's not an act of resignation. It's an act of strength. Because the one who trains for the worst doesn't break when it gets hard. And the one who accepts the possibility of chaos no longer lives in fear of it arriving. This doesn't mean becoming cold or disconnected. It means developing a strong mind, one that doesn't shut down at the first unexpected change. It's like someone who leaves the house with a coat, knowing it might rain. Maybe it won't rain, but if it does, they won't get soaked. They won't see it as a tragedy. They'll simply keep going. That's the mindset. Before the day begins, pause a moment and prepare. Today something might go wrong. Today someone might interrupt me. Today things might not go as expected, and that's okay. You don't need to walk around frowning. You're not walking through life, anxiously expecting the worst. You're walking with strength. This Stoic practice is called premeditatio malorum, and it's one of the most powerful habits you can incorporate into your morning. You don't need to dramatize. You just need to visualize what could go wrong today, and how will I respond if it happens? Answer calmly. Visualize that setback and see yourself overcoming it. Imagine being late because of traffic, getting a rude response at work, having something important canceled. Picture it clearly. And now imagine yourself breathing, choosing not to react with anger, taking control. That's what you're training. Maybe unexpected news comes, maybe someone interrupts you, maybe things don't go as planned. But if you've anticipated it, you're no longer swept away. It no longer robs your peace. It no longer holds power over you. What matters isn't what happens. What matters is that you had already decided how you were going to face it, and that is already a kind of victory. The fourth habit reminds us, the way you speak to yourself shapes the entire day. The way you speak to yourself shapes your day. What you say to yourself upon waking isn't just a stray thought. It's the first seed you plant in your mind, and what you plant will grow. If the first thing you tell yourself is, "I'm tired, here we go again, I'm no good at this," you don't need external enemies. You're already sabotaging yourself. There are people who wake up with their body standing but their mind kneeling, because even before brushing their teeth, they've already triggered an internal dialogue of exhaustion that won't stop for the rest of the day. And this is where Stoicism has something urgent to remind you. The quality of your day largely depends on the quality of your internal dialogue. You don't need to shout empty phrases in the mirror, but you do need to listen to yourself with honesty, because what you repeat each morning becomes your mental filter. Your mood isn't random, it's a consequence. Imagine waking up and the first thing you say is, "I'm not in the mood. Today won't go well. Here we go again." With what kind of energy do you think you'll face the rest of the day? What kinds of decisions will you make from that voice? What face will you show the world if you're already crushing yourself from minute one? The Stoics practiced inner governance, and that included the tone they used to speak to themselves, because they knew they couldn't control what the world would say to them, but they could choose the language they used with themselves. So here's the habit. Before speaking to the world, speak to yourself, and do it well. It can be a short phrase, a clear affirmation, a firm reminder. Something like, "I can handle this today. Today I act with calm. Today I won't stoop to what doesn't represent me. Today I will do what I said I would do." You don't need to shout it. You don't need to post it. It's enough to think it with conviction. Because if you don't define the tone of your inner voice, others will do it for you. And not all of them will be kind. Not all of them will be fair. Some of them have been inside your head for years. Phrases someone once said, and you made them yours. Break that today. Start each day with a phrase that strengthens you, not one that weakens you. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be aligned with you. Don't say, "I'm enough," if you don't feel it yet. But you can say, "I'm learning to treat myself better." And that, repeated each morning, is already a revolution. Don't underestimate the power of that silent voice that stays with you all day. Make sure it plays in your favor, because no one spends more time with you than you do. And if you're going to be with yourself 24 hours a day, at least make sure it's not a toxic relationship. Let's continue with the fifth habit, awakening your body so your mind can follow. Your mind doesn't wake up by magic. It needs oxygen, movement, direction. And your body is the most direct tool to awaken mental clarity. The Stoics knew this. Even though they were philosophers, they understood that mastering the mind is not disconnected from the body. The body isn't an enemy to endure. It's an ally you can train to enhance your inner clarity. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't need a full gym routine. It's enough to move your body consciously. Stretch. Take a short walk. Do some deep breathing. Take a cold shower. Open the window and let the fresh air wake you up fully. Think of it this way. Every physical movement early in the day is a message to your mind. We are awake. We are present. We are ready. Stephen, it's no coincidence that great leaders, athletes, and thinkers had morning movement rituals, not for appearance, but for focus. A sleepy body leaves the mind at the mercy of low emotions, but an active body awakens your willpower too. Imagine that before any task, you take 10 deep breaths with your eyes closed. You feel the air enter, pause, and leave slowly. You stretch your arms, move your neck, open your chest. That takes just 2 minutes, but it can change your entire day. Because it takes you out of a rushed mind and brings you into the moment. It reminds you that you're alive, that you're not an automatic thought, that you can choose how to begin. And if you combine that with a little sunlight, cold water, a short walk, or a few minutes of simple exercise, your mind will notice. It's very hard to have clarity if your body is shut down. It's hard to stay calm if your breathing is shallow. It's hard to manage your emotions if your posture looks defeated from the morning. The body informs the mind. It supports it, prepares it, guides it, and you can use it as a tool every single day from minute one. Make morning movement a symbol, not just of physical health, but of mental preparation. Because moving isn't just about muscles, it's about intentions. It's telling the world, here I am, conscious, present, grounded. And when you do that every morning, it stops being an effort. It becomes a way of living. Now we reach habit number 6, practicing gratitude before pursuing anything else. With what emotion do you step out into the world each morning? With hunger? With hurry? With emptiness? Or with gratitude? Because that emotion shows. It shows in how you speak, in your tone when you reply to messages, in the look you give the mirror. If you walk out with a sense of lack, everything you do carries a tone of scarcity. But if you walk out with gratitude, the entire day changes color. And Stoic gratitude is not naive. It's not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring problems. It's about recognizing that despite what's missing, there's already so much that matters. And if you don't see it, you miss it. The Stoics spoke of fortune as something unstable, here today, gone tomorrow. And that's why they urged us to appreciate what we have while we still have it. Not from fear of losing it, but from the clarity that nothing is guaranteed. Think about this. If you open your eyes this morning, you already have something millions didn't get today. If you can walk, breathe without help, prepare your breakfast, look out the window, you're already experiencing something valuable. It's something that could be gone, but knowing that isn't enough. You have to feel it. And for that, the habit must be conscious. Do this every morning. Pause for a moment and name 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big achievements or extraordinary moments. They can be simple things. The quiet in your house at this hour, the warm coffee waiting for you, that feeling of being alive, even if the day has just begun. And if you can write those 3 things down, in a notebook, in a phone note, or in your mind, but do it with intention, because when you're grateful for what you have, you activate another part of your awareness, a part that doesn't complain, doesn't compare, doesn't demand, but recognizes. And that has consequences today. A person who starts the day from gratitude is less reactive, less demanding, less enslaved by the need for more. The world will ask a lot from you today. It will show you what you lack, what you're missing, what you should chase. But if you've already taken stock within, if you've already felt that you have enough, then you don't fall so easily into the trap of constant dissatisfaction. Of course, you can want more. Of course, you can grow, progress, build, but without anger, without anxiety, without that inner void that taints everything. Because the one who starts the day in gratitude doesn't do it from lack, but from strength. And when you truly feel grateful, no success can make you arrogant, and no failure can destroy you completely, because you're already connected to something deeper. Your ability to see value in what's simple. Do it every morning, even if you don't feel like it. Even if the day seems upside down, especially then. Because the most powerful gratitude is the one practiced when it's hardest. And if you do it, you'll see you don't need everything to change to feel different. You just need to look differently. And finally, the 7th habit, embracing discomfort as your path to inner strength. There's a kind of discomfort that drains you and another that strengthens you. The first kind shows up uninvited. An argument, a delay, a piece of bad news. The second kind is one you choose, deliberately, with intention. And that's the key. Train yourself on purpose in discomfort so that when the kind you can't control arrives, you're already prepared. The Stoics practiced this with discipline. They slept on the floor, sometimes fasted voluntarily, walked without a coat on cold days, not because they were masochists, but because they understood that true power is born from conscious resistance. From telling the body, you are not in charge. From telling the mind, we can handle more than you think. And no, you don't need to live like a monk. But you can practice it in your own way. Each morning, do something uncomfortable. Something that snaps you out of autopilot, that forces you to activate, that proves to you that you're in control. It could be a cold shower. It could be getting up when you said you would, without 5 more minutes in bed. It could be not checking your phone for the first hour. It could be tackling that task you've been avoiding. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is what it means. I'm in charge today. When you voluntarily choose discomfort, you're building mental muscle. You're training the part of you that decides, not the part that surrenders. And that, repeated each day, becomes character. Think about how your perception changes when you take that small act of voluntary discomfort. You don't need others to notice it. You don't need applause, but you feel it. And when the day gets hard, you can look back and say, I already started winning. I chose the hard thing before it chose me. That's where you start cultivating something you can't buy and you can't learn from books. Self-respect. Because self-respect doesn't come from pretty thoughts or repeating phrases. It comes from following through on what you promised yourself. From choosing difficulty when ease tempts you. From proving through action that you can trust yourself. When you do this each morning, even on the most ordinary days, you're building a version of yourself that doesn't need perfect conditions to move forward. Because you're training your mind to act even when there's resistance. And that makes you invincible, not because nothing affects you, but because nothing paralyzes you. Every small decision you make at the start of the day, every tiny victory over laziness, procrastination, or fear, is a vote of confidence in yourself. It's like slowly reinforcing an inner wall. A wall not built from pride or hardness, but from conviction. With time, that discomfort you once chose starts to become pleasure. Because it stops hurting and starts strengthening you. Because it's no longer an obstacle, but part of your identity. You start to see yourself differently. Not as someone waiting for the ideal moment, but as someone who creates it. Not as someone who reacts, but someone who leads. Not as someone pulled by comfort, but someone who cultivates inner power through discomfort. That's the real purpose of Stoic habit. Not to have a perfect morning, but to have a trained mind. And that kind of mind doesn't come from grand gestures, but from small acts repeated with intention. Choose one, anyone, but do it voluntarily. Do it every day. And one random day, when something difficult happens, when someone disappoints you, when everything feels like it's falling apart, you'll realize you didn't fall. And then you'll know it's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's because you had trained. Now you have them, 7 Stoic habits to start your day with clarity, strength, and mastery over your mind. 7 decisions you can make each morning, even if the world is upside down. And you don't need to apply them all at once. You just need to start with one. Today. Because the more you train your mind in the first few minutes of the day, the less power you give to the chaos that may come later. And that is the real secret of the wise Stoics. It's not that they lived easy lives, it's that they learned to become invincible from within. So tell me, which of these habits will you start tomorrow? Leave it in the comments, write it as a commitment, as a choice, as a first step. And if this video gave you clarity, inspiration, or direction, I invite you to subscribe to Life Wisdom. Here, we share principles to help you live with more calm, more strength, and deeper meaning. And if that's what you're seeking, this space is also for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. And most of all, thank you for choosing to start each day with yourself. See you in the next video, where we'll keep strengthening the mind from the roots. Until then, keep cultivating your Stoic character.